I'm so excited right now to be joined by Melissa Schleicher. She's an incredibly talented celebrity hair and makeup artist in Nashville, and she owns the famously known Parlour 3, as well as several other businesses that spun from that salon. She's a full-time hair and makeup artist for somebody that people might know, Miss Carrie Underwood, and the rest of her clientele includes Alan Jackson, Brad Paisley, Leanne Womack, Rascal Flatts. That's just naming a few. Melissa, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. Congrats to you for doing this.
No, I'm so excited to talk with people like you and just hear your stories because I think it's important to share some of the journey behind the success that we see. So, we're just going to dive in. I want to
Okay.
know, have you always known what you're doing now is what you wanted to do for your career?
Girl, since I was a little girl, I mean, I was the only child. So I would play with my Barbies. That's what my thing was. And my mom would get so mad at me because I would cut their hair as soon as I would get them. Or I would take a black Sharpie and draw a liquid eyeliner before liquid eyeliner was even around. But I always knew since I was a little girl, like I had a pair of scissors and went for it.
And was there, when you were starting to understand that as you were growing up, was there a path for you kind of already there, or did you have to create your own?
I kind of had to create my own. I mean, when I was younger, like that's just what I wanted to do. But like in high school and stuff, they had like beauty school, but it's not really the class you wanted to go to in high school. You didn't want to really kind of be the one in high school going to beauty school. You know what I mean? Everybody was outside smoking cigarettes, and you just didn't want to do that. But there wasn't a lot of options back then to where there are now.
Yeah, for sure. Was it beauty school meaning like I saw on Grease? Is that what you're referring
Yeah,
to?
pretty much. Maybe a little worse.
So in a way, you kind of taught yourself, it sounds like, to be where you are right now.
I mean, when I was 11 years old, I was cutting boys' hair in my neighborhood, or just my mom would be like, I'm going out to like at 11. Like I loved it. Or as we got older, like 13, 14, I was like, oh, I had to do everybody's hair for events and, back then. So
Did your
rave hairspray was it then.
did your parents support you doing that, or were they kind of like, you should might check out a few other careers, maybe not go down this path?
Well, I wasn't the perfect child, and I kind of belonged in that beauty school, but I grew up here in Nashville, and I didn't love school, and I always knew what I wanted to do. I actually quit high school at the end of my 10th grade year, and my dad was a school teacher. So that didn't go over too well, right? And he's like, well, if you're going to go to beauty school, you're going to pay for it. So my dad actually made me sign up, and he made me pay for it. And so I went to beauty school. That's what I did. I quit high school, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I was like thriving in beauty school, but I was the girl that dropped out of high school.
Yeah, and that had to be hard for you. You were changing the norm of what it looked like, especially in your family. What did that feel like for you at that time?
I felt like everybody's like, she's never gonna amount to anything. You know what I mean? I mean, it's what it is. Like back then, it's like, oh, you're gonna be a hairstylist. They don't make any money. I'm like, well, that you know what I mean. It's just
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, for
My
sure.
dad
So
worked so hard. He was middle class, was a school teacher, owned a landscaping business. You know what I mean? It's just like he's like, she wants to do hair, you know.
yeah, I do. And but that definitely had to be hard. And seeing you now too thriving, I'm sure that is joyful for you in itself to know of where it started to where you are now. What was that first connection that happened for you? I listed so many of the country music stars you were working with. When did that begin and what did that kind of look like to even get your foot in that door?
Oh, so it started. There was another makeup artist, Melanie. There was not very many makeup artists when I was started, like for the celebrities. And there was a girl named Melanie Shelley, and I was kind of her assistant, and I would do people when she couldn't do it, and she was just amazing. And it's she was working with the Dixie Chicks, Alan Jackson, Leanne Womack, all these different people. Well, she got super busy with the Dixie Chicks, so I would go do Alan Jackson for her or different people. And, it just kind of evolves where you know, it wasn't they liked me, but she was just really busy at the time, and so my first real like client was Alan Jackson.
And what does that look like doing makeup for a male artist? Because a lot of people are like, oh, makeup, hair, it's all female. What does it look like for a male country artist?
I mean, I love male grooming. Like it's easy, but it's also, I mean, you think, oh, just slap some powder. It's not that easy. I mean, you have to like, they're going on, TV. You have to make sure everything looks great, their brows and all the good things. But I love male grooming so much.
If you could be out touring, I will get to the Carrie Underwood questions, but if you could be out with anyone besides Carrie, who's someone you would love to be on the road with as a full-time hair and makeup artist?
Girl, I have done this for so long and I have worked with the most amazing clients over the years, but I've backed down and I'm only working with Carrie now.
I love that. And what happened? How did the connection to Carrie happen?
Carrie was this girl on American Idol. I didn't watch TV much. I was busy doing my freelance stuff here, Alan Jackson, Leanne Womack, all these people. And my daughter, Hunter, was watching American Idol when Bo and Carrie were on there. She won, which my daughter was obsessed with Carrie. And I said, oh, Hunter, they called me for that girl you love on American Idol for her first Opry debut. She's like, Mom, you have to do it. And so I had Alan Jackson that night. So I actually was like, okay, I can come get her ready, but I have to leave. So I did it, didn't think anything about it. I just did it for my daughter that was 11 years old at the time to get an autograph. And then I think like 2 weeks later, I was working with other artists. They were kind of slowing down and I worked with so many artists and they called me for like 30 dates for Carrie. And I was like, oh, okay. I liked her. She's great. And then it went from there.
Wow, you were there at the very beginning of that career. And that has to be really cool, not only as a stylist and an artist, but just as someone who's gotten to see her thrive throughout so many years. What has your guys' friendship also kind of look like? Because that has to be a close
Oh,
relationship.
it is. I've been with her since she was young. I've been through it all with her. I've been through everything. It still amazes me today. I met her when she was 20. I don't even know. She was 20 something. And I had a young daughter, but it's like, I was her big sister, and she was the same girl I met a long time ago. She is not changed. Stardom does not affect Carrie. Like she would drive the car that they gave her on American Idol. That's just her. And
I love to hear that about your favorite country artist. And that's even cooler to know about Carrie, who really is a mega superstar.
It's really been awesome to watch her evolve over the years. And, I've been around for 17 years with her doing hair and makeup, and it's like, what am I going to do next? But we always come up with something, and I was like, what are you going to do? She's like, I don't care. And she's so easy. And I'm like, okay, so it's all on me. I got to figure this out,
And that is a difficult thing with your career. Something that maybe people don't realize is you are always having to stay up with current things and trending stuff that's happening in hair and makeup. So how do you make sure that you are always evolving?
You know what? Owning a salon helps me do that because I see all these young girls coming in and we all learn off of each other. Like I'll be in the salon for a day and I'm like, oh, I love what you just did with that hair. Oh, let me try that. So it is helpful to watch these young girls that are coming in my salon or ones that have been here for 10 years, just seeing something we all learn off of each other. And of course I look at magazines and what's coming up or whatever, but I just create, I never really plan out what I'm doing. I just say, what's the outfit today? And then we go. I have everything in my kit you could ever want, from rhinestones to glitter to hair pieces. It weighs a lot, but I have everything I need. Always.
Do you ship that? Does it get shipped or do you have to bring that everywhere?
Everywhere I go.
Wow. I think it's really cool to hear that you're looking at the younger generations and seeing inspiration rather than competition.
Absolutely.
I think that's awesome.
Absolutely.
And that speaks to how successful you are and what you've been able to do and accomplish in your career. You are quite a business guru, I would say, looking at your bio and everything you've done and all the businesses you've opened. What is it like for you to be a woman-owned business at this time?
You know, I opened Parlor 3 almost 11 years ago. It was for to open a makeup store. That's all I wanted was a makeup store. And then it just evolved to a hair salon. And then I had friends everywhere that were hairstylists. I'm like, I should just do a salon. I have this big space. Um, Definitely struggles along the way. And I am always like, ooh, let's do this. Let's do this. Adding on businesses, or it's definitely a struggle, but I love it. I love a challenge every day. COVID was hard. I have 65 employees or more between my three businesses. So that was really tough, but we survived and we came out and we're doing great. But I mean, I'm proud to be a woman owned business. I'm proud of it. And I think what makes my heart happy is seeing all these young girls and guys thrive. It took me a long time to make great money. I would do stuff for free when I started out, or our day rates are not like they were back in the day. I'm like, oh, I made $150. You know what I mean? And it's really like, I don't know. I just love seeing these young people come out of the gate. Just that's what fills my heart. I think that's what I love about this salon is like they graduate and they go to Hunter Page, or the barbers are doing this and that. And I just love it.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned the struggles, and that's definitely something I'm trying to highlight in this podcast is just addressing that everything isn't a clear line and it's really hard to get where we are. And Instagram makes everything look pretty, but that's not the reality.
Not,
So,
I mean, a lot of sleepless nights owning a business. I mean, it really is, or somebody's decided to leave, or, it's a lot of struggles, or every day I have 1, 2, 4 buildings. Something's wrong every day. You know what I mean? My poor husband, I'm like, Don, the toilet's not working at Parlour. Don, 100 pages, the lights, you know what I mean? It's just a lot.
yeah. Is there one struggle that kind of sticks out for you where it happened and you didn't think maybe this was going to work or you were going to have to change the way you were doing things?
So that's my point of when I had to back down working with everybody, because I had so many clients and I'm a people pleaser always. And what would happen is I would have Rascal Flatts, their album just launched. So I would do all this TV stuff with them. Then I would have Carrie, then I would have Alan. I never had a break. So I had my salons, but I was also traveling all the time, just trying to take care of everybody else, but not myself. And so that was my breaking point of, you know what, you're important too. You could take care of everybody else, but that's when I kind of chose like, you know what, Carrie is just easy. She really is. And she's just been so good to me, and it's easy to go work. So I enjoy my job. When I don't look at it as a job, it's like we go travel and we have fun, but that's the struggle. I think that was my breaking point, honestly, because I worked with Alan Jackson, Patty. I mean, the list goes on, and I loved every single person I worked with, but I had to take care of me.
Yeah, that's a very important lesson. And it's very easy, especially for someone who's an entrepreneur, has an entrepreneur spirit to just drive and work and put every type of business and success ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
What did that lesson feel like when it was happening? Were you feeling, oh my gosh, I'm a failure, I can't do all of these things? What were those feelings that you experienced as this breaking point was happening?
Absolutely. Failure. Like, okay, I'm going to lose my salon, or I'm going to have to pick here. Like, and I'm going to have to pick and choose, but I didn't have to give up Carrie, So I was like, okay, I can still keep my feet in there, but still have my salon taken care of. I mean, I definitely was like, it was a lot of crying nights going, I'm going to have to tell clients that I've been with for years that I just can't do this anymore. Honestly, it was a relief for me doing that, but it was hard.
It's when you're making scary decisions, it feels very overwhelming. But then after it happens and kind of the rain clears, you're like, wow, I made the right decision. Would that be accurate for you?
Absolutely. And I'm happier. I'm a grandma now. I'm like, I got to be with my baby, and I got another one on the way. And, I had to prioritize my life a little bit because I am a people pleaser. And remember, I have at least 65 staff that works here in my buildings too. And I love all of them. And, things go on during the day. They have family issues and you want to take care of them too. So I have a lot going on, not just with my family and I want to be there for everybody, but
Yeah, absolutely. You also even too have side projects. I have one of your paintings hanging up in my bedroom.
You do?
I do. And that was what turned me on to you in the first place. It wasn't
There's
even the
one
hair and
back there. I
makeup.
don't know if you can see it. There's one back there in the office that's painted. I don't know if you can see that.
I can. And so you have all these side projects too. So, you did break away from certain things, but then you added some new projects on. How did that happen?
Crazy. So, you know how hair pictures on Instagram or social media, you need a good background, right? So I was like, one day I was like, I'm going to go to Michael's and I'm going to buy some canvases. My mom was with me and she goes, well, let's just go buy it. It was cold outside. I get all this paint, spent so much money. And I set it up in my dining room on my dining room table and just started painting. I didn't shower for 2 days. I'm not even kidding. I just started creating all these things. And my husband, there's a funny picture, but he's like, she's like Picasso. You just have to let her go. And then she's going to come up with something, but you have to pick up behind me though. My husband always says she's like Picasso, but she leaves a lot of mess behind her. That's me. But I started painting and then I started posting it on like social media and everybody's like, oh my gosh, I want one. And I'm like, what? So then I had them hung up in the salon and this lady was a client at Parlour and she's like, whose art is that? And they were like, oh, that's Melissa, the owners. And she's like, does she want to reproduce it for Kirkland? The store that I've shopped at with my mom since I was a little girl. And I'm like, absolutely, yes. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I love that.
Happened. And then they sold out of I think they did 4 pieces and sold it at Kirkland's all over the country. And I'm like, okay, that was cool. But when I stopped working with other clients and stuff, that's when I had a little much more time for myself. And that was really great.
No, I love that. And it goes to show who you are as a person, how you're just always evolving, always creating. And I think that's a really cool thing for people to hear and see. There's going to be young people, I'm sure, that hear this. And if you could give them advice, maybe they have a spirit like yours, very entrepreneurial, maybe want to pave their own path. What are some advice you would give them if they're starting that journey?
I've had a lot of parents message me because I didn't talk about quitting high school till it wasn't that long ago, honestly, a few years, well, maybe like 7 years ago. Hunter encouraged me about it because she's like, Mom, it's your story. You should talk about it. Well, it actually encouraged young girls their parents reached out to me going, your story actually helped my daughter. And I'm like, well, that's awesome, but it's like, don't give up and don't let anybody tell you you can't. Like, go for it. Don't let anybody stop you and just try to do your best at just shoot for the stars, man.
Oh, that's great. And it's even just hearing it from you, you have a smile on your face while you're saying all this too. You're just a light.
It's just, I just go for it.
Oh man.
Don't let anybody hold you back. Because same thing. My parents were like, oh, great. He's going to beauty school. Great. And then I will tell you this, like after my first check working in the salon, I had already met it was in Antioch over by Hickory Hollow. Some people that lived in Nashville their whole life will know that. But my first paycheck was more than my dad's that was a school teacher. Wow. And I framed it and with a picture of me and said, I turned out okay.
Hey, if nothing else worked after that point, at least that happened.
I made more than you did. In my first 2 weeks of being in a salon.
I love that. I think it's also important because it's very unconventional and I love unconventional. I think it's so cool that we can do things that we're passionate about and excited about. And you've done that. You've made an entire career, life, and business out of that.
I just like being around people. I love people and just being in these businesses make me happy. I'll be sad one day when I'm not here, but just seeing all these people, it's really awesome.
Well, you've made an impact, so you can't be too sad. That's a great thing to walk away from whenever that happens, but I don't
Oh, it's time
anticipate
for
it'll
now.
happen.
I've got a while.
I believe that. I want to ask you some questions just for fun.
Yeah,
Being
yeah.
the expert that you are in hair and makeup, what's your favorite overall beauty brand to use?
Oh gosh, girl. There's so many.
Okay, you can give me like a top 3.
I'm gonna give you something that I'm kind of obsessed with right now.
Yes.
A foundation, and it's going viral all over TikTok. It's the Lady Gaga foundation.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, it's amazing. It's so good. So her new line is incredible.
Favorite to
Uh,
use and to use for yourself?
I'm saying for everybody.
All right.
I haven't even got to use it on Carrie yet. But I'm saying like this is legit. Like it's my new favorite foundation.
All right.
I'm obsessed with it.
Okay, great one.
Oh goodness gracious. There's so many. I gotta have a good glitter. Glitter's
Yes.
important. Glitter's important.
Is there a brand that you love of glitter?
I just found a new product that I'm obsessed with. I love the Pat McGrath palettes. They're the glittery, but it's called Vanny Cosmetics. It's like a wet. I just got the palette like last week, and I'm so excited to play. I actually have some of my eyes today, but it's like a wet glitter and it doesn't move.
Okay, yes, I need that in my life.
I mean, it's especially as much as you do, and like you would love it.
Yes, I'm all about the glitter. I say there's never enough glitter in my life. I feel that way.
Rhinestones, glitter, all of the things. I'm a gold girl. I like everything gold.
Okay, yes, gold over the silver.
Silver, I don't even look at anything that's silver. Like, no, gold only.
Okay, those are great.
I love Kerastase products. Orbe, I love Orbe.
These are great because these are a lot of things I've never heard of. So I'm loving
Really?
it. Yeah.
Oh.
But also, Melissa, I'll be honest with you. I'm really bad about following trends in hair and makeup. I'm really good about just making sure I'm always presentable and I feel good.
You
Not good about
always
following
look beautiful. I always see you, and you always look. I'll follow you on Instagram and stuff, and you're at events. The night that you interview Carrie, you look absolutely stunning.
You know, I'll tell you about that night. Really funny story. I was like, I'm not really sure who we're going to be interviewing tonight. I'll be cool if we just talk to a few people. Threw on a dress I had in the closet and I was like, it'll be great. And then I see Carrie and I'm like, crap, I really should dress to the nines.
You looked amazing. I saw you on the carpet. I was back there and you looked incredible.
No, you're too sweet. But hey, compared to you guys, you're over there killing it. So I'm trying to keep up over here.
Hey, lashes, just throw a pair of lashes on. If you can learn to do some lashes, throw lashes on. Always make sure you're good.
That's what I was going to ask you. For someone like me who's just it's really hard for me to stay in the trends. Yeah. What's something just super easy to do with my hair and makeup that just kind of elevates an entire look?
Keep your brows always groomed. That is very important.
Okay.
Always go get your brows waxed, get that taken care of. Just you look beautiful right now.
I know, but hey, we're out there. We're all trying to survive in TikTok
you have
world.
now, but just add the little dark for going out, like in the crease. Like, I always say it's like a V right in here, right? So take like a dark brown or black and put it in your crease. Like think of a V right here. And then add a little glitter, put a mascara on, you're good to go.
I love it. See, easy tips. I'm here for easy tips.
And hey, let me tell you something else too. So if you have a makeup palette, like a shadow, anything that shimmers and has a shimmer, you wet it. And when you put it on your eye, it doesn't move.
Okay.
Don't oversaturate it. You'll see what I want you to go play with it now. But anytime you like a palette, right? And it's got shimmer in it. Matte, do not do matte. That won't look good.
Okay.
Wet your brush a little bit and then just put it in there and then put it on your eye. And it'll last all night.
Okay. Hey, that is a pro tip right there.
Any palette that has shimmer.
I have always wondered how Carrie Underwood looks so beautiful. She's moving across the stage all the time, and now I'm learning the secrets.
There you go. And then I will tell you too, another thing for like you're doing so much ColourPop. They have the prettiest shadows, and they're like, but for sparkle, ColourPop, and they're $6 a piece. $6.
Hey, I also love a trend that's cheap. That's That's great.
I'm all about
What
comparing.
what about a hair or makeup trend? You've been in this industry for so long. What's a hair or makeup trend that you wish never happened?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I had it. I think a lot of us, the highlights that were the chunky that went like this. Oh, I have a
Yes.
picture. I found it not long ago. I looked like, I mean, legit. It was blonde, brown, right down the part. That was horrible. Nobody should have ever done that.
I do
Um,
remember those phases.
oh, I saw a picture not long. I was like, who thought that was pretty? I mean, my clients did it too. We all did it. We all did what each other did. We're like, yeah, let's do that. That looks cool. Gosh, what else? I mean, all these people, speaking of guys, they all have these mullets. I'm like, what are you doing? I dated guys back in the day that legit had mullets. And I'm like, yeah, it's not attractive. Like, it's not attractive.
So the mullets need to stay in the, what was
I
that,
mean,
like
but I have a
90s?
barber shop, and that's all that we do up there is mullets all the time. I'm like, ooh, as long as the you're so young, you probably won't even know, but the little, what do they call it? The little
The rat tail?
rat tail, that will never come back.
So we can keep mullets as long as rat tails stay
Rat
away.
tails don't come back. We're good. We're good.
Okay, one more. If you could change, and this could be totally serious, it could be something silly, but if you could change one thing about the beauty industry in general, what would you change?
I just wish more people would come together. Do you know what I mean? Like celebrate together, celebrate. Like Nashville's a small, I've been here my whole life. It's like everybody should celebrate together.
A little bit more collaborative.
Yes, like let's have fun together, that kind of stuff. And there's so many amazing makeup artists and hairstylists in Nashville. Oh my gosh, everybody just needs to come together and just do more fun things together, you know?
I like that.
What was something else that I would change? There's not really anything I would change.
I mean, that's a good thing. That means the industry is thriving and doing some awesome things. I think it's cool to also recognize in general, I think in most fields, especially one that's an entrepreneur type field, you feel some competitiveness instead of the together collaborative.
Yeah, I would just wish people a little bit more togetherness. Yeah, I think that's a good word, togetherness.
All right. Awesome.
Because I mean, it's so much like people need to come together more, you know, in any industry.
I feel like that's a statement that we need for just about everything right now.
Yes, for sure.
Well,
Yes.
Melissa, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
You've been amazing, and it was just awesome to hear your insight on things. So just thank you so much.
Thank you. Now go practice those makeup things I told you about.
I will. I'll probably be in the bathroom all night, but I will try.